The rain hits the tin roof of the scrapyard. A relentless, hollow drumming. The kid sits in the shell of a rusted sedan. The engine is gone. The windshield is shattered. The vinyl seat is freezing. It smells of old motor oil and wet dog. He is 17. He is completely alone. The city skyline glows dull orange in the distance, a world he cannot touch. He grips the plastic steering wheel. His hands are raw. He pushes the heavy clutch pedal with his worn sneaker. He shifts the rusted gear stick. First, second, third, fourth. He does it again. First, second, third, fourth. The metal grinds. The sound is harsh. It scrapes his eardrums. He does not stop. He sits in the dark for hours. He repeats the motion over and over. This is where the trap begins. The brain is a dark, wet forest. Every new action is a man walking through thick brush. It is slow. It is clumsy. But repetition is a machete. It chops a path. Every time the kid shifts the dead gears, a spark jumps across the neurons in his skull. The brain wants efficiency. It hates effort. It begins to insulate that spark. It wraps the nerve in a fatty sheath. Myelin. The path gets slicker. The electrical signal moves faster. The kid does not know the science. He only knows the hunger in his stomach. He wants out of the dirt. He shifts again. First, second, third, fourth. The muscle memory sets like wet concrete. He waits in the dark. Midnight. The scrapyard gate crashes open. A man stumbles into the mud. He wears a torn charcoal suit. He breathes in wet, heavy gasps. He smells of sweat, expensive bourbon, and fresh blood. He runs toward the only working car on the lot, a heavy, dark blue muscle car. He fumbles with his keys. He drops them. His hands shake too much. The kid steps out of the shadows. The rain slicks his hair to his skull. The man pulls a heavy flat black revolver. He points it at the kid's chest. The steel catches the dim yellow light. Drive. The man breathes. He spits a glob of red onto the dirt. Get us out of here. The man throws a thick roll of $100 bills onto the hood. It is a fortune. It is a ticket out of the gutter. Panic should freeze the kid. Fear should lock his joints. But the brain has already carved the highway. The repetition takes over. The kid catches the keys. He slides into the driver's seat. The engine roars. A deep, violent thunder. The man falls into the passenger side. Sirens wail in the distance, high and thin. The kid's foot hits the clutch. His hand slams the shifter. First, second, third. He does not think. He does not plan. The motion is an instinct. The machete has cleared the path. The electrical spark travels at a blinding speed. The car tears out of the yard. The tires scream. The smell of burning rubber fills the cabin. The kid takes the money. He drives into the dark. The basement of the club smells of stale cigar ash, spilled gin, and polished leather. The kid sits in a booth. He wears a clean black shirt. He is no longer a ghost in a scrapyard. He is the wheelman. He learns the brutal mechanics of the syndicate. He learns the city. Every night he drives. He maps the grid. He takes the blind corners, the narrow alleys, the underground tunnels. He drives the escape routes 1,000 times. He learns to brake exactly 30 feet before the turn. He learns to downshift at the exact moment the suspension dips. The repetition is relentless. The brain reacts. It floods the neural pathways with more myelin. The thin dirt path in his mind becomes a paved road. The paved road becomes a steel-reinforced concrete highway. He is flawless. He never checks the speedometer. He feels the speed in the vibration of the floorboards. He tastes the RPMs in the back of his throat. He sits at the heavy oak table with the crew. Men with flat, dead eyes. They count stacks of dirty money. They plan the grifts. The kid does not speak. He drinks black coffee. It is bitter and scalding. He belongs here. He is a perfectly calibrated gear in a massive, violent engine. But the machine demands routine. The brain loves the routine. Once the neural highway is built, The brain refuses to take the dirt path. It locks him into the pattern. The belonging is a cage. 5 years bleed away. The kid is a man. He wears a tailored Italian suit. The fabric is cold and smooth. A heavy gold watch ticks on his left wrist. A slow metallic heartbeat. He is the highest paid driver on the coast. He owns the streets. He sits alone in a high-rise apartment. The floor is cold marble. The city lights stretch out below him like scattered diamonds. He pours a glass of aged scotch. The crystal is heavy. The liquid burns his throat. It tastes of oak and peat. He has money. He has fear. He has power. But he cannot sleep. The paranoia crawls beneath his skin like insects. The repetition has rewired him completely. He cannot turn it off. When he walks to the kitchen, he takes the exact same number of steps. When he grips his glass, his hand mimics the tension of a steering wheel. His mind is an automated fortress. He anticipates everything. He sees the angle of every approaching car. He calculates the braking distance of every pedestrian. The world is nothing but physics and threat. His crew calls him a genius. They say he has ice in his veins. They are wrong. He has nothing in his veins. The brain has eliminated conscious thought. He is a passenger in his own body. He stares at his own reflection in the window. The eyes staring back are completely hollow. The muscle memory is an absolute dictator. He rules the city, but he is a slave to his own nervous system. The rain beats against the windshield, a loud, relentless drumming. The smell of ozone and hot asphalt fills the cabin. The job is a bank in the Diamond District. 2 men in the back seat. Heavy canvas bags filled with cut stones. The alarms blare. A deafening, jagged sound. The kid drops the clutch. The car violently launches forward. Red and blue lights flood the rearview mirror. The police are fast tonight. Stress floods the kid's system. Adrenaline spikes. His heart hammers against his ribs. Under extreme stress, the brain shuts down the frontal lobe. It shuts down logic. It shuts down creativity. It completely defaults to the strongest, thickest neural pathway. It forces the body to take the most repeated route. The kid turns the wheel. He takes the route he practiced 1,000 times. Down 4th Street. Sharp left onto the narrow industrial ramp. He knows this route blindly. That is the tragedy. The cops know he knows it. He hits the apex of the turn. The tires shriek. The smell of scorched brake pads is suffocating. He clears the brick wall. The ramp is blocked. 2 heavily armored police cruisers sit sideways. Spiked strips cover the wet asphalt. The brain's obsession with the familiar path has led him into a trap. The kid slams the brakes. The heavy car slides. The sound of tearing metal is deafening. The windshield shatters inward in a storm of glittering diamonds. Gunfire erupts. Bright yellow flashes in the dark. Heat tears through the kid's right shoulder. A blinding, white-hot agony. The taste of copper floods his mouth. He throws the car into reverse with his left hand. He spins the wheel. He crushes the gas. He blindly rams his way out of the bottleneck. He escapes. He drives into the bleeding night. But the men in the back are dead. The money is gone. His right arm hangs useless. The nerves are severed. The thick neural highway in his brain is useless now. The hardware is permanently broken. He survives the night, but the wheelman dies in that wrecked car. The diner is empty. The neon sign outside buzzes. A harsh electric hum. The man sits in a cracked vinyl booth. The cold seeps through his cheap coat. His hair is gray. His face is mapped with deep, rigid lines. His right arm rests limply on the sticky table. It aches when the barometer drops. A dull, throbbing reminder of the trap. He drinks lukewarm black coffee. It tastes like wet ash. He looks out the dirty window. Across the street is a rusted chain-link fence. Behind it, a scrapyard. A teenager sits in the shell of a rusted, engineless sedan. The kid wears a frayed jacket. The old man watches. He watches the teenager grip the steering wheel. He watches the kid's left hand move. First, second, third, fourth. The old man's chest tightens. The bile rises in his throat. He knows exactly what is happening inside that teenager's skull. He knows the sparks are jumping. He knows the myelin is building. He knows the dirt path is turning into a highway. The repetition is rewiring a new victim. The system needs fresh meat to turn the gears. The boy shifts again. First, second, third, fourth. The old man closes his eyes. He hears the grinding metal in his mind. He is back exactly where he started. Outside, looking in. He has nothing left. The machine keeps turning. He is empty.